Hello everyone, welcome to Mad Red United. I'm Adam, and as you can see, we're back, bigger, badder and stronger on this live stream. Even so, I've brought a guest along. Let me introduce you to... And say hello to everyone, mate.
What's happening?
Yes, so,
You all right?
right, welcome to this show. We're going to go over quite a few different topics today, so I'm going to get cracking on straight on with it. But firstly, just wanted to mention to everyone that Ant is actually my brother. Yes, we both do live in Manchester, but we both have families and we both have to sort our own stuff out. So instead of him calling round and sitting right beside me here, he's offered to give this first guest caller segment of the channel an actual go. And hopefully it all goes swillingly and everything works out okay. This will be the way I want to go forward. How I'm going to bring other guests onto the show and actually bring more people's content, more people's input into the show, so we can actually get several opinions live and everyone joining in then in the comments on two opinions at the same time. So if you did want to or was interested in coming on the show, then the simplest way to do it would be to just drop down in the description below. My Twitter information is all there, and everything is basically as simple as just go onto my Twitter page. My DMs are always open, and just literally hit me, send me a message and offer your services. If you want to come on the show and actually get involved in one of the live chats, then that's all you literally have to do. Like I said, Twitter in the description below, and we're just going to take it from there and see if there's any people who want to come on. I've said it before, tweeted it out, that Paul will be back also, so it'll be pretty much like a group conversation with Paul involved as well, coming up very soon as well. So, right, moving on with the show. Ant, how are you doing, mate? How are you feeling? How is everything? What is your vibe in terms of United at the moment? I know you've told me several times, but how are you feeling at the moment now, first few weeks after the season's finished? Let all the subscribers, let all the viewers know exactly how you feel in terms of how that end of the season felt for you.
It was like a relief. The season's finished. I was counting the days till the season was over. The two final games were just the nail in the coffin for me. It's just been an absolute nightmare to watch United at the moment. It's just that final game against Cardiff. That was a killer, an absolute killer to watch. And then the video after it with Pogba being abused by the fans after it just sums up the atmosphere at Old Trafford at the moment. Solskjaer's come in, is always at the wheel. He went down that road, and it was brilliant, absolutely amazing to watch. Being there at the away games with you, it was great. But then, obviously, as soon as they gave him the contract, it fell apart. Something had happened. Whether it was Solskjaer being nicey with the players, and then as soon as he got the contracts, telling the players, pre-warning, listen, this is what's going to happen in the future. You're not going to be a part of my plans. And then the players are just down tools completely. And going down the road of that vibe with them players at the moment, because it's not just, this is our fourth manager now, and the players have all done exactly the same. Something's not right in that board at the back. It's just not right.
Yeah, I think you're echoing quite a few different, quite a few United fans with them there. That end of the season couldn't have come any better. I know we all say we can't wait for a season to start again, and when the season's finished, we're all thinking, oh, can't wait for the season to start again, and we're pining for the new season. But the end of this season for me, and obviously for you and a lot of other people, felt like it was just literally just get it over and done with. I can't stand watching this team anymore. And I think the most enjoyable game at Old Trafford was not meaningless one, I won't say that, but in terms of actual football, was the Legends game at weekend, which quite a few people went to and quite a few people actually enjoyed. It was the best game at Old Trafford all season in terms of entertainment, football, quality. All them words came out of everyone who was actually there. And it was literally just an absolute a masterclass of the legends that are Manchester United. And it just seems like the current crop are so far away from the actual reality that is Manchester United, or what we think the reality is of United, and that is challenging for titles, challenging for trophies. And your words there pretty much echo a lot of what I've said on the show, and it's not just because we speak mainly every day about it, but when you sit back and you actually listen to other people online on social media, everyone seems to be on the same page this time, and it is coming across that way. So in terms of how we actually get out of this, obviously the transfer window is now open. We're moving on to targets, or so-called targets. We haven't got a clue who actually is coming in. We're in only speculation, and people that we want to come in, the people we hope to come in, the dream moves to come in. And obviously over the weekend we had De Ligt, which everyone wants. It's a dream move for all United fans. We can't actually believe that we're being linked with him, with the other clubs that are actually involved, but money does seem to be calling the shot with this move at the moment. And the only reason we are getting linked with De Ligt is because we can offer him a silly wage. Where are you standing with De Ligt? Would you go all out for a player that young and actually bring him into the United team, straight into that team? I mean, I can't see there being any issues with any United fans of De Ligt replacing any one of our defenders in there at the moment. Where are you with De Ligt right now?
I tell you what, I'd get him there. I'd get him there tomorrow. I'd walk him in through that dressing room, strap that captain's armband, and say, "Sort this shit out at the back. Fuck Phil Jones and Chris Smalling off, and put De Ligt next to Lindelof for a put De Ligt next to Lindelof. Give him the captain's armband, and he'll be our captain for the next 10, 12 years. More than that with De Ligt. He's a leader, and United are lacking leader. Ashley Young, don't make me laugh with Ashley Young. He's a captain. He's never a captain. Never in my days have I seen that boy lead a team. A DJ, maybe, but not a captain. And who else? You got Chris Smalling as vice captain? No chance. De Ligt for me. Stop all the stops. Get him 250 grand a week. Whatever you need to pay him. Remember, you're paying for this player who's just been in the Champions League semi-final and dragged the Ajax team through that, and that close to being in the final. We seen him in the Europa League final against us, and he was great then. But now, he's more years down the line, he's a leader, and that's what we lack. Because we've got no one in that team. If we go a goal behind, there's no one that can grab some players and say, "Wake up, come on, let's win this game. We can do this." We're not doing that team that can do that. Pogba is probably the only nearest player with all that crap in the World Cup with the France team, singing everyone's name in the dressing room and cheering everyone on. All that big spiel. Why can't you do that for United in a red shirt? No, but it has to be in the blue for France. So we need a captain that can do that, and I think De Ligt for me is a must because there's nobody else. Yeah. What are the centre halves out there that we can link with? Koulibaly? No, ain't happening. I'm not paying 150 million for Koulibaly. Yeah. No chance.
Well, that's it. You said it yourself there in terms of names and who else can actually be. Who can actually fill that void at the moment? Because I'm calling it a void. You only usually call it a void when there's no one actually there, but I can't class any of them defenders there, Young, Jones, Smalling, as actual United players. So I'm gonna label it a void because that is what it is. Defenders, Koulibaly, possibly. We've talked about him several times, and he is a good player, but I can't see anyone matching that price tag. I think he's going to end up staying in Italy, but knowing United coming towards the end of the window, if we don't manage to get a centre half in, I won't put it past United throwing stupid money at him and actually getting him through the door. It literally would not surprise me one bit that Koulibaly walks through the doors, a desperation buy. And going back to Ashley Young, well, I've said my piece. I mean, watching them legends play at Old Trafford the other day, and it's just like I seen David Beckham literally in 90 minutes of football do more than what Ashley Young's done down that side in 3 or 4 years at United. It is literally a sorry state of affairs, that back line, and it's no wonder we're being linked with these players. It's the only time we're the only club, I think, who can actually come out and throw these stupid amounts of money at teams now, at clubs to get their players in. Because you can say the likes of Paris Saint-Germain can do it, they can throw all sorts of money, but they are cash strapped on financial fair play. If United earn their own money, it's not money brought into the club from other sources, and I do think Ed Woodward prides himself on the fact that he's made all this money and he can go out and spend it, and no one else but him can go out and spend it at the club. So I can see Koulibaly coming in just for the sheer fact that Ed Woodward would want to make a statement and break the transfer record again for a defender. As much as stupid as it sounds, I think that is doable for United, and it's definitely doable. It's in the makings of Ed Woodward to do something stupid like that. But going on again to the defence and other players that are obviously linked with United, I mean, players that we can get realistically. Realistically, out there right now, I would say centre backs. Toby Alderweireld. He's coming up to around about 30, but experienced, is available, would definitely go, and he's in a Champions League final himself, and I can't really fault him as a defender. I don't think there'd be many United fans who would be upset at 25 million for Toby Alderweireld. Where do you stand on bringing in someone of that sort of age who's experienced to maybe help bring on some of the younger players, maybe like Tunesebe, who's just got promoted with Aston Villa? Someone like that with Lindelof and Toby Alderweireld. Where would you see that sort of setup going? Would that be something that you would be happy with at the club?
Yeah, I think if we were to get Toby Alderweireld, I just think that's just a quick fix for a few years, and then just get him in through. But will he want to come to United now? He might win the Champions League. He might be happy there. What, 25 million for a buyout clause for Toby? I would take him. I wouldn't mind if it was probably be last resort. If we don't get De Ligt and we don't get Koulibaly, it has to be Alderweireld, but nobody else. But as of Axel, great to be promoted to the Premier League. But to throw him straight into there now, it's a joke. You need to loan him out back to Aston Villa for next season. Get him Premier League experience. Get him over 30 odd games in the Premier League. Then bring him back in. Take him on the tour in the summer. I'll do what you need to do with him. But he's going to be a good player. But to bring him in now will absolutely cripple him. Imagine playing him next to Smalling or Jones. You kill the kid. Yeah. You absolutely destroy him.
Yeah.
Definitely destroy him. And he's played well for Villa. I watched the final yesterday, and he was very good. I was impressed with him. I thought he did a good job for Villa. I thought it was a close game. He got stuck in and he got his head on almost everything that Derby threw into that box.
Yep.
Which is great for his age.
Yep.
How old is he now, Axel? How old is he now?
He's early 20s, isn't he? Now? I'm not sure
exactly. 20s, 21, just 21.
Comment what age Axel Tunesebe is, please, on the side and the comments, just so we can.
Yeah, I think he's only 19, 20. He's only young lad. Because he needs that experience, and Alderweireld will give him that.
Yeah.
Next to him at the side of him, you're not going to get that off Smalling and Jones. You're not going to put your hand on the shoulder when they're not, as much as you say. They've won the Premier League with United how many years ago? Come on, seriously.
Yeah.
Give it a rest. You need a player in there that can mould that defence, and Alderweireld could do that.
Yeah.
He's a good player. I like him. He does the simple stuff. He makes it look effortless the way he plays football. He's not as quick as Alderweireld Koulibaly would be, but it's just what you need at the moment. For 25 million, and United can't get De Ligt or they can't get Koulibaly. United need to think smart and buy sensible. Don't go and throw massive monies amount for someone like Manolas with a 36 million buyout clause, because he's awful. He's shite. There's a reason why Rome want to get rid of him.
Yeah. And
all this buyout clause. No, we can't have last-ditch defenders and then come away with nothing.
Yeah.
We need to find out if we're not going to get De Ligt, which I don't think we're going to get. I think we're just being toyed with by the media. I think it's going to look like a win-win for Barcelona, in my eyes. Yeah. That's my opinion.
A couple of other names.
United beat Barcelona.
A few other names brought up in the comment section.
All left games.
Comment section there, actually, in terms of other possible centre-halves. Maguire gets mentioned a lot. Ruben Diaz, who is Lindelof's ex-partner centre-back partner at Benfica. Would it be someone who's played alongside Lindelof that benefits us even more? James Arnold, super chat. Thanks, James. I really appreciate that. I would take Ramos on a free. Oh yeah, that's thrown out a bit of a debate on Twitter recently. I tweeted around that Ramos possibility coming in. Would it be such a bad thing for a player as mean as Ramos? I mean, some of the comments there in the in the comment section saying we don't want Spurs cast-offs, too old, Alderweireld. Well, Alderweireld's 29, going on 30. Ramos is 33. Should we be looking at this? They sound more and more like Mourinho signings as we go along.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Maguire fits a bill, sort of. He's good on the ball. He's good in the air. He's something that we definitely haven't got in terms of passing and taking the ball under control and coming out with the ball ability. But again, a massive price tag. So it brings back the title of the actual video that we're doing now. It's what is realistic for United? Are we going to go out and bust a gut on a centre-back? Or are we going to make this centre-back up of decent players, not the branded names, you could say, not the Maguires, not the De Ligts, the ones that are going to cost us 60+ million. Are we going to be going for like Ruben Diaz? I mean, I don't know too much about him. He's highly rated in Portugal. Portugal again.
He signed a new contract.
And then it's getting a lot of mentions. The Portuguese league with certain players. We're being linked with a lot of players, i.e. Fernandes as well. But in terms of centre-back pairings right now, it's not going to go... You're not going to have to look far to actually be better than what we've actually already got. But I think De Ligt ideally would be the perfect centre-back for us because he can be moulded definitely into... He can be moulded into a captain. He's already a captain of a big club like Ajax and has taken them so far in the Champions League with a young squad. Definitely would be top of my list. Koulibaly, more experienced and a few more years under him. Alderweireld coming towards the end, you could say. Can you get a full season out of him? That's what you got to look at always, because our centre-backs seem to drop like flies. They just there's no fitness there at all, it seems. And fitness might not be the right word, to be honest, but in terms of injuries, they're so injury-prone, United defenders, especially the centre-backs. Jones can't get 16 or 17 games in a season. Smalling the same, always gets an injury. I mean, God's sake, I want him to be there all the time, but we can't get him to get 4 or 5 games together, maybe 2 games together, let alone that. But the other issue you've got too many of them. All play the same way, all as useless as each other, and all have as bad at injury records as each other. For me, I've said it before, said it in the last video, that my issue is not with who comes in, it's with who goes out. At the moment, all the names are being mentioned for coming in, but we're getting absolutely nothing back about players that are actually leaving the club. The scary thing is the fact that Rojo has actually come out with comments saying that he actually thinks he's got a place at this club and he's going to be part of all his plans. Please don't break your mic, Ant, by telling me how you feel about Rojo or smashing your screen or raging at some point of this actual next bit. But where do you stand on Rojo?
Back in the bedroom with his burnt toast. That's where he belongs. That man, he just bled United. That's all he is. He's another one. He can't play football. He's a liability on the pitch. He came on against Chelsea and almost got a straight red card for 2 tackles. He is not a United player. I don't know what he is. Is he a left back? Did we buy him as a left back, a centre back? He's nothing. And then the stories about that, like I sent you about his language. He can't speak English. He still can't speak English. There's no go with this guy. And then he gets injured. He doesn't fit in. Mourinho had him playing a little bit towards his first season when he was partnered next to Bailly. That was probably the best you're ever going to see out of Rojo. But apart from that, no, he needs to go for me. There was talks last year about him going to Wolves. I would take him there. He needs to go for me because, for me, him and Jones and Smalling, we know Jones and Smalling aren't going to go anywhere because they just signed new contracts, but Rojo can't be a part of it. You need to trim some of this deadwood down, and Rojo, for me, is a massive part of that. He needs to go. Yeah. And for him to come out and say he's been told he's a part of the future, was he dreaming this? Or what's he smoking? Yeah. To be actually think that he's part of this future of the Manchester United Football Club.
Yeah.
It's an absolute joke. For me, Rojo needs to go. Even if you have to loan him out somewhere, because he's just going to sit there and take his wage. Again, another problem with United with the wage setup. Just sit there on the bench and take the wage and burn the toast.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, a good idea there. Ikuodo, Rojo is a legend. Swap him for Diaz. Yeah, we could work him in and
Send him back to Portugal. Good idea.
con some other club into taking him away from us as part of a deal. That might be a way forward. I mean, for me, the issue that we've got is getting rid of these players. That the fact that Smalling, Jones, and Young on the wages they're on would literally fit. They wouldn't get into any of the top 6 teams in the Premier League. Probably top 7 or 8 teams in the Premier League, and that rules them out going there. Then the wages that they're on, like I said, no one below 8th place in the league, in the Premier League, would be able to afford them because they've all just got new deals, unbelievably. And then you're looking at where's the option then? Abroad? They're all too thick to go abroad by the looks of it and couldn't handle it. Loan deals out, makeshift in terms of a deal for another player coming in. That's all I can actually see in terms of our centre-backs going forward. But going off centre-backs now, but staying on defence, obviously we know Ashley Young cannot be in that right-back position, let alone captain come start of next season. I think it will be the end of Ole if he does, because the fans would start turning on him. In terms of right-backs, another right-back we've been strongly linked with in the window so far, and there has been more words been spoken by certain sources that even that it's possibly already done, is Aaron Wan-Bissaka at Crystal Palace. He's a player that I've touted and I've said I always wanted in. I do think he is quality, experienced in the Premier League now, young, and can be coached even more. So definitely Aaron Wan-Bissaka for me would be on my list of players to come in at right back. There are other options at right back. We already know Munier has been mentioned. You've got a few others that have actually been touted to be coming to United or linked with United. But Bissaka, definitely a player who I think would fit the United mould and definitely play the way that United would like to play, or Ollie would like to play, in terms of fitness, speed, control, being able to actually produce going forward and defend. And I think he would definitely fit our bill. Where are you seeing Bissaka in terms of a transfer for United? Is it one that you would take in, or would you go for the likes of Munier, someone like that, someone from abroad?
No, I'd definitely take Wan-Bissaka. English lad, played in the Premier League, and for me, he's most underrated right back there is in the Premier League at the moment. Like I said to you today, his stats last season were second in interceptions in the Premier League and third best tackler in the Premier League last season in stats. The kid's good. We even know when he came on against us last season when Matic scored the last minute winner in the at Palace, and he kept Martial quiet. He's brilliant. To me, he's got pace. He can tackle. He's always good at making last-ditch interceptions. I've watched him quite a lot this season. I've been very impressed with him. And there'll be a few teams that are after Wan-Bissaka. I'm surprised City aren't all over Wan-Bissaka, to be honest, because he's got years and years ahead of him to come as well. He's, for me, right back position, because come start the season, if he walks out with that captain's armband, for me, Solskjaer's failed straight away, because what Young to be captain of United and come out of that right back position, and it's cost us so much this year. Not just Young himself, but all the old defence. But for me, if you get Wan-Bissaka and you get a right back and a centre half, then that's starting to build. You can build a good solid spine at Manchester United with a good centre half. Obviously, I don't know what the situation is with De Gea at the moment, but for me, going back onto Wan-Bissaka, he is, for me, a right back is something we need. Definitely, and you can have Darlow as well. But then again, if you get Wan-Bissaka, you take Darlow out of the equation, and he's only young as well. What do you do? Do you put Young back at left back as reserve to Shaw and have Darlow and Wan-Bissaka on the right? That's not a bad idea. As long as Luke Shaw cements that left back position and Young doesn't start sneaking in there at left back. I can't handle that man in that club anymore, man. With that captain's armband, he's killed us. David Beckham the other day. David Beckham in his 40s. He crossed the ball better than Young. And Beckham, like I said, Beckham's a legend at United, but for the age, and he's still playing now, Young, as captain of United. It just shows how far we've fallen here.
Yeah.
No leaders.
Leaders is a big...
leaders, but...
Leaders is... it's a massive topic for United. Hiya, Sophie. How you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate the support. Yeah, the leadership issue at United has been lacking for. I mean, leaders went as soon as Ferguson left for me. It left in all the way down the spine of the club, never mind the spine of the team. So your leaders started from the top in David Gill when Sir Alex Ferguson went. David Moyes came in and killed the heart and soul of United by forcing, and I say forcing because I do believe that David Moyes was the reason why the likes of Evra, Ferdinand Vidic, three leaders who bled Manchester United actually left the club. And then that season we seen Giggs obviously leave and his little cameo as player manager. Tried to come back under Mourinho, then didn't work, that left. And then we brought in managers who had no idea what Manchester United was all about and exactly what way they were going to go forward, what style, what was they going to implement. They just tried. United, having let Gill go and brought in Woodward, and Woodward just let any manager come in and try and change United. Has Woodward learnt his lesson in terms of actually bringing in the right people for jobs that should be done? I don't think he has, because he would have brought in a director of football now. He would have brought in someone who would have worked with any manager and said and made the point clear that this is the style of football that United have to play. This is the way we've always played. This is how we're going to move forward. The players that are coming into this club are going to be brought through me for this style of football. Can you actually implement this style of football? Otherwise, you're out of the club. That is simple job interview for a United manager, in my opinion. It is that simple. And Ole, yes, he is inexperienced. There are good points and bad points about Ole. I do think he is. He's in sinking sand at the moment. He's got a good grip on the edge, and he can get himself out of it. But I do think if he's playing Ashley Young as captain next season and Jones or Smalling start that, it's literally like someone coming and standing on his hand and he's going down. The fans won't stand for it. Yep. The fans have had enough. It's not all his fault. They would have maybe given him a little bit more time if he was one of the managers that are coming before the rest of the crap that we'd had recently. But they're not going to give him time. I know it. I can feel it in the stands, home and away. The fans are starting to turn now. They're sick of the players that are playing. And there's one man who can actually get rid of some of this headache and some of these players, and that is Solskjaer. He knows. He's seen how bad they are up in pressure situations, and he has the chance to get rid of them now. And I fear for him if he doesn't. I really do, because these players have let us down the last 6 or 7 years, and if they're still at the club, they're going to keep letting us down. It is as simple as that. The players that we've mentioned, I think, all fit the bill in terms of United players and how we can move forward. The likes of De Ligt, the likes of Tunazabe coming through from the youth team, some of the other youth players coming forward, Bazaka at the back, definitely United players, and it is literally going to be a huge few weeks coming forward now, because like I said, we're 3 weeks in from the season finishing now. I know that officially there's still games to be played, Europa League, Champions League now, but time is ticking now, and we're getting into a situation now where it's getting close to the players. Players are all on holiday, obviously, and then come June, player contracts finish. I'd expect some movement then, but then it's not long before we start thinking about the tour. And again, we're starting to think, is anything going to actually happen? So it's like, oh God, it's mind-blowing how we can actually be in this situation still. But I'd have thought some transfers would have been made already. I thought we'd have made some moves. I thought some players would have been out. But no, and for me, it's down to Ed Woodward starting this rot. But in terms of Ollie, where do you see it lying with Ollie now in terms of these players? Has he got the minerals, basically, to do what is necessary?
I think he needs the time to do so, because us United fans, we're not going to be patient. As much as everyone says we love Ole, United want the glory days back, and most United fans haven't got the patience to sit there in the stands of the season and see these players play. But like you said, it's not as easy just to get rid of these like that. You can't just get rid of 10 and bring 10 in. It's not like FIFA. You can't do that. It's just you need to wean these players out one by one. You're not getting rid of Jones. You're not getting rid of Smalling. United fans need to realise that. And for me, Solskjaer needs the time. I think he's the right fit for United. But like you said a few weeks back, he can't be the yes man. He needs to voice his opinion to that board. To Ed Woodward, say, listen, there's my list of my players I want. I want young players, and I want these players on the list. And not plan these and not part of my plans for the futures. The likes of Rojo, Darmian, Mata. For me, they can go. Like you said, we've already got rid of Valencia. He's been a good servant for United. He's gone now. Darmian needs to go to wherever, back to Italy he needs to go. Rojo needs to go out on loan somewhere. And obviously Mata, we've not decided what's happening with Mata. I think he needs to make these moves now and get them done early. Because like you said, it's 3 weeks. How many more weeks before we're going to get a player to come through? Obviously, Daniel James, obviously, for what's happened to him. Obviously, he's not signed yet, obviously, because of his dad. But he needs all the time to get his head around that himself before he signs for United. If he is going to sign for United, because Sky Sports sources, like you said, are more not reliable at all. And we need to get these players in. We need a centre half. We need a right back. We need a central midfielder. I think we need 2 central midfielders. We need a right winger, which we've been neglecting for so many years, that right winger position. And Solskjaer knows this. And I can guarantee Solskjaer knows this. And he wants to bring the youth players through as well. We've got some good youth players there, but they won't get a chance. They won't get a chance to come through, I don't think, because playing with the dog shit that we've got in the team at the moment, it's just going to kill them. You're playing like look at the young players that played against Cardiff that came on. Like you said, Pogba's attitude stinks, and he's supposed to be United's best player. Straight away, it's going to rub off on the players, and it will kill these young players to bring them in like this, and then they're not going to get anywhere. And then as for Solskjaer comes, for me, my personal opinion is he needs the time, but he's not going to get it. And a lot of people are saying he's going to be gone by December. It's going to be another Mourinho situation, sacked by December. Because come on, if we don't sign anyone, we get maybe 2 or 3 players, and we come up against that top 4, we're just going to buckle again. And these players are not good enough for that shirt. Definitely not good enough for his shirt.
That's exactly what a lot of people say. A lot of people in comments are saying it as well. Philip Burton, what do I Phil, mate? Going to take a few transfer windows to sort this out. 100%, yeah. I think Ole does need the time. The one thing that Ole can do to give himself time is the style of football. I mentioned this last time. If he's got the style of football right and it's entertaining to watch, then he will get that little bit of time, because the fans will jump onto that and think we can actually see progression. We can actually see a way forward. We can see which way he's actually going. So I think that's important to him. Just going over a few other comments as well. We always saying sell Pogba, sell De Gea, but the person we need to sell is Alexis Sanchez. Zayn Baptiste. Yeah, Zayn, 100%. Sanchez is one of the main issues at Manchester United in terms of what players are doing with contracts and why they're not signing contracts. Why would you sign a contract your place of work for less money than a guy who's doing absolutely jack shit? And that being Sanchez, it's exactly that. Any other workplace, you wouldn't do it. So isn't it any surprise that a lot of these big players like De Gea haven't signed the deals yet? They're probably looking down the line and saying Ashley Young, Phil Jones and Chris Smalling getting contracts and saying, why are they getting rewarded for absolute mediocrity? Not even that, absolute dross and shit, because that is what they have been. And you can see the unrest, even though we're not seeing it. It feels like it's coming out of the club, and it's got to a point now whereas they can't hide it anymore. We can actually all see it. I mean, it's like Neville said himself: you can't kid the fans. You cannot kid the fans. We're not stupid. We know that there's issues at the club. We know there's issues behind the scene, and that is literally just that. And out of it, can we get anywhere? Can we turn the corner? I think it all comes down to Ole for me at the end of the day. I do think that he has to stand up and be counted. He has to have some serious steel balls and actually go at and tell Ed Woodward exactly what he needs. He's saying he needs his players in before the tour. I agree with that, because he needs to work on his style, his fitness for the team, because fitness was shocking this season. Literally burnt them out as soon as he got them. It was great while it started, they'd obviously not been working hard enough. I think there's a few comments made, or a few comments leaked out of the club saying Mike Phelan and Ole Solskjaer couldn't believe how fit the United team were, how unfit the United players were when they started. And you could see that really, because he went hell for leather for about 2 months and it was great, and then literally died a death. We didn't look like we were going to score a goal, never mind. We didn't look like we were going to create a goal, never mind score a goal. So definitely an issue, and players need to be in place. The transfer window shuts before the season starts, as it did last year. There's no room, there's no time for messing around with transfers on deadline day. Having seen how we've started the season, it's literally in, bang, gone. So for me, transfers need to be done before we go on that tour. July is the cut-off for me, and it literally has to be all in place, ready, everyone on that plane to go on that tour. It's simple as that. So going off that, and pretty much touched on defence all the way through the video, and the transfers, possibles, ins, and obviously the ones we know is going out. So I just want you to give me I want 2 players. I want a right back and I want a centre back. Pick the 2 now who you want coming into the club. If you had the chance to get them, you could get any of them, which ones would they be right now?
Right now, it would be De Ligt, centre half, and Wan-Bissaka, right back.
Yep, pretty much.
And that's going to be 100 million straight away there.
And that's not playing to the thumbnail and the poster of this video either, because they're the 2 people I put on it. But they're the ones we've been linked with most recently this week. Yeah, so as always, through the summer videos, I like to bring up some comments from other viewers, subscribers, people who actually follow me on Twitter, things like that. But it's all been pretty much the same this week around the Legends game and how good it was to actually watch some decent football and actually have some full-on commitment. And Sophie's just mentioned there, Yap Stam in the Legends game actually cleaning people out. The guy's retired, for God's sake, and the passion he showed for a friendly match, putting on that United shirt, was just off the scale. It brought everything back, watching Yap Stam at centre back taking people down. It's you or it's the ball. It's as simple as that. It's good old Italian defending, but something severely lacking at United at the moment. I think Phil Jones is saying it's you and the ball, but we're taking you into the goal with me. So yeah, completely back to front, Phil Jones. So yeah, just going to bring up a couple of comments from people who actually left comments on the previous videos, the one from the other day at weekend as well, and that is, surprisingly, it's not come from a United fan. There are a few fans who subscribe to the channel not from United or not United supporters, which is really good because I like to talk about other clubs as well and way and styles that they all play. But there's been a couple of fans who've actually contacted me and said that it seems to be that the opposite support actually know what our issue is. They can see it from that, so we can see it, they can see it, and they're all laughing at us. I mean, I've had Wolves fans, for instance, who messaged me saying, off one of my videos, saying when Phil Jones came on at Molineux and Ashley Young got sent off in the league game, that they were all laughing in the stands. My reply was, you was laughing on that side of the stadium, we were crying on the other when Phil Jones came on the pitch. And it's to be a laughing stock to all these lesser clubs at the moment. I don't mean that in any disrespect, but just for United's stature and where we are, how much money we spend, then it is an embarrassment. It really is. But another guy, a City fan, actually messaged me on my last video saying that United are going absolutely nowhere. The glory days are over. Yeah, we know that, but the fact that he was saying that everyone thinking that Ole is the answer is deluded, and he's just simply not good enough. But Ole might not be the answer right now, but Ole could be the answer. He could be the start, in my opinion. He's the one who could set the ball rolling. He might not be long term. We might have to get someone else in, but he needs to be the one that acts this summer for me. He needs to be the one that actually starts getting rid of the players and bringing the right players for the style to come in. And if he doesn't, then I think he's right. I think Ole will go. I think he won't last out the season if he doesn't, because we've said it before, the players are not good enough. They will let him down. And he's brought up a few different names of managers. We've tried the big names. We tried the experienced Louis van Gaal. We tried the serial winning Mourinho. Is there any other manager out there, Ant, in your opinion, who you think, if he came available now, would you take him? Would you get rid of Ole? Would you let Ole do the work? Is there anyone there that you think could take us further than Ole right now, finishing this season off the way we have?
Right now, these in my opinion, it's only Pochettino for me. That's the one. That's the person that I think could come to United and take us back to the glory days. I honestly thought Solskjaer was the key to it all, but obviously time will tell with that one. But in my opinion, it would be Pochettino. Just for the way he plays football, he brings the youth through. He just believes in the players, and the players just thrive off him. He must do something to them players to make them turn into world beaters. Because look at the way Son plays and Kane. It's unreal. Eriksen, they're all brilliant. Look at them in that Champions League, the way they overturned City like that, and the belief. Look at him celebrate. Look at the way Pochettino celebrated with them players. He was like one of the players himself. For me, it has to be Pochettino because I can't see anybody else going and doing that. Regarding obviously Pep, but obviously we're not going to go down that road because we know what Pep is. He's just successful in the way wherever he goes. But for me, it's Pochettino. It has to be Pochettino. But for me, I'd rather keep Solskjaer for the time being and give him the chance. And we'll soon see. Just changing the subject slightly, but just going back yesterday to Solskjaer being the yes man. In the actual interview at the end of the game, he actually said he could do with players like Johnson and Stam in the defence now. What does that tell you about how he thinks of his defence right now? So that, in my opinion, that makes me think he knows what a bunch of dead shits he's got at the back in United. Yeah. So that's my opinion. Solskjaer needs to be given the time, but for me, it's Pochettino of anybody else. Nobody else that I can think of.
I mean, Ole does talk the best game in the world, to be honest.
He's very good at talking.
He always says the right thing. His interviews are great, and it is a little bit of the battle in terms of what we want, but we need to start seeing results on the pitch. We need to start seeing performances on the pitch. Can he get it out of this current crop of players? If he thinks he can, he will fail. If he knows, like he said at the end of that game, the Legends game, and that interview, and says, look, the players that I've got aren't good enough. We need players of this sort of calibre, obviously not exactly that, but of that sort of ilk at the right time of their careers need to be at United. That commitment, that actual bit of guile, class to be that sort of centre-back that United need. The Vidic and Ferdinand partnership, Stam and Johnson, like he said, Palace to Bruce, and partnerships that have not existed. It all went when Fergie went, when everyone left. It was literally left with, and the fact that we've left with Ferguson defenders now, the back line's 3/4 all Ferguson signings is a joke. And the fact that we've spent so much money on so many defenders, it's unbelievable. Just before we finish up everything, I'm just going to go through a few of the messages. There's quite a few people messaged, so I just want to get them. The flank position needs to be sorted too, with United quality and standard player, United quality and standard of player. That's from Arin. Yeah, I think that pretty much is like what we were saying there, in terms of getting the right style of right back, because right style of right back can then work with the right style of right winger, who hopefully we will get also. And there lies the issue that Ole's got. Can he implement his style into the amount of money he's going to spend this summer on certain players? He needs to put it both together. He needs to buy the right players for the way he wants to move forward. Liam Mills, look at Poch's last 10 games. They didn't look good. They didn't look good at all. Imagine if he had them results with us, the fans would get on his back straight away. Yeah, they didn't. I mean, Spurs lost 12 games last season in the league, which is unbelievable. I don't know what's worse. Yeah. The fact that they lost 12 games and managed to get top 4, or the fact that they lost 12 games and we couldn't get anywhere near them. It's embarrassing. But going back to some other chats, let's see. James Arnold again, thank you James, super chat, you are a legend mate. Would you take Jack Grealish? Yeah, that one has been mentioned quite a bit recently. Jack, don't think would go now. He's got promoted with his boyhood club. I think if Aston Villa didn't get promoted in that Championship playoff final the other day, he would have been out the door. Simple as. There's no way he would have waited another season. He belongs in the Champions League. I do think he's a good player. And my answer to that, James, would be, well, we're all liking Pochettino and thinking he is working wonders with Spurs and younger players. Pochettino wanted to sign him last summer, didn't he? So it kind of says it all, really. If someone like Poch wants him, then he has obviously got something about him. But he does stand out in that Championship team. And if we're looking at like Championship players like we are, Daniel James, then Jack Grealish probably would be in a different bracket. I think he's a step above Daniel James. Daniel James has probably got a little bit more time on his hands and could get better. Could get better a lot quicker. But yeah, Jack Grealish, depending on what money you spend on him, really. I do think there's better players out there, I'll be honest. I do. But, in terms of English, and he's never played in the Premier League either. How far do you want to take a player like that? Would you think of Jack Grealish, Ant? Would you take him?
No, I wouldn't take him. He's the captain of Aston Villa. He wanted to go to Spurs last year, but he's another one that's got an attitude problem. He's got another big. We don't need any players like that with an attitude problem. He might be a good player, but and again, it's Championship quality again, and he's not cut it in the Premier League. When Villa were back in the Premier League a few seasons back, he was nowhere near the team because he had a bad attitude problem and he fell out with the manager. Just says it all. We're just going backwards if we sign Grealish for me. My opinion, anyway.
Yeah. Christina, hello Christina. Stam stunning even today. Yeah, Stam would probably get in our team today, wouldn't he, to be honest?
Better than Jones.
Darian Jones. Why the hell do Milan want Lukaku? Oh, God, I mean, I'd pay for Lukaku's flight to get to Milan. As a player, I can't even go into Lukaku today because I just literally do not have the time to go on about that guy. Mark De Gale, Wan-Bissaka and De Ligt. Yeah, we're in agreement with that one, mate. There'd be two ideal signings for the back. Just another photographer. How you doing? No Champions League, so attracting big players is hard. A top flight manager would bring big players in. That's the issue that we have with Ole. He hasn't got that aura to bring in big players, unfortunately. That question got posed the other day. Do we actually think that Ole has got the nous to actually go out there, the cleverness to go out in the transfer market and get these players ahead of some of the bigger name managers? Like Zidane's going to go out this summer and spend big. If you're looking at going to Manchester United under Ole Solskjaer or going to Real Madrid managed by Zinedine Zidane, even though I love Ole, the lure of that Madrid offer would be 20 times more. It's shameful saying it like that, but yeah, I see the point. I do see your point. He's gonna have to be clever with it, like we said. Mike Lilly, how you doing, Mike? Hi, mate. Good to see you live again. Maguire, Dendonka, Wan-Bissaka, James, Dembele. Which Dembele though, Mike? Which one do you want? Obviously, I'm guessing the one at Lyon because he does look like a bit of a player. He looks like a bit of a baller, but. What do you want? You want the Barcelona one? You want the Celtic one? You want the Lyon one? Which one? I think the rumours going off social media. I think you're going down the road of the Lyon one there. He does look like a good player. Is he another Lacazette? French league player. He's young. Yeah, I mean, the French league, Memphis Depay is playing well in the French league. So where do we go from there? I mean, God, we ain't really got time to go into the forward line much now because we're running out of time. But yeah, I mean, there are some players who do look good in other leagues. Like we said, Diaz in Benfica. Great in Benfica. But we all know how Lindelof struggled in his first season coming from there. It's a tough one to call. I mean, I do think if we have got some of the deadwood out and the bad habits are not in the club, then the players coming in would prosper even more. It would literally be a case of coming in and all that shit is still in the team. And bad habits are like a disease at United. We will destroy a player's career like that. It would literally be in and devastation instantly. We've seen it with so many players. Let's just do a couple more before we finish up. Mark Fenner, hello Mark. I know it's very, very early or very, very late, whichever way you want to say it over there. I would be happy with Rabiot, Meunier and Maguire combination. If we couldn't get De Ligt and Wan-Bissaka, but we need to replace Herrera, McTominay, Fred. We can't rely on full seasons, and also Garner needs games. Yeah, I agree with Garner. He needs a shout. Meunier has been touted. He's a good player. He's young. And he's got a future as well. I think he could be a good player for United. We mentioned him in the Bissaka conversation a minute ago. Maguire come up again. Rabiot, and what are you thinking on Rabiot? He's on a free. A lot of people have liked it, but then a lot of reports have come out, even though he is a bit of a baller, have come out saying the guy does think a lot of himself and goes in your bracket. I know you're big on it, like players who do have severe attitude issues. He looks like he could fall into that bracket as well.
Yeah, definitely with Rabiot. He's been exiled from the PSG team for how long? Since when's the last time he played? December, was it? He's not even been in the under-21s. He's got a serious attitude problem, and he spat his dummy out when he got kicked out of the French team for the World Cup winning team. The guy thinks a lot of himself, and he is a good player, but again, he falls into the same category as a bad attitude, and we've got enough of them in this United team at the moment. Obviously, on a free, I don't know what people are thinking he's on a free, and he could be a quick fit. French player with Pogba again, you might get the best out of him, but for me, it is worth a gamble for on a free in midfield because you've got to replace Herrera. And you need to replace, I think, another central midfielder. But Rabiot would slot in okay. But again, how much is his wage going to be? You're going to have another problem with his wage because he thinks that highly of himself. He's at PSG now. They pay him quite a lot. He's going to want massive money again. And United were stupid enough to take him. And then he's going to have an attitude problem. But again, he is young. I think he's only 23, 24. Yeah. So for me, I would take a gamble on him.
Yeah. I would. Interesting. Right, yeah, that pretty much covers all angles for this video, guys. I'm going to wrap it up there. I think we've covered quite a few decent topics there as well. Once again, thank you for all the comments and contributions in the comments section. And again, like I said at the start of the video, if you did want to come on the channel, actually go through one of the live shows with us, we can do a few people at one time. We can get a couple of opinions on it once and involve a lot of other people. It is definitely something that I'm looking to do. And obviously, to do it, like I said at the start, just simply scroll down, look up my Twitter account, and the link is in the description below. Just flick on that there, give me a follow while you're at it, and obviously just click straight onto my DMs. They're always open if you follow or not. Send me a quick message. We can go over details and everything like that. Times that we're doing it, if you are watching from other countries and different time zones, obviously. So I'm going to wrap it up there. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, if you are tuning in for the first time, hit that subscribe button. Give the video a like. We'll be back later in the week with possible other guests. And Paul will be back. He's not back until the end of this week off his holiday, but there is going to be a special with Paul where we will be live, which should be very interesting, especially the comment section on that one. So yeah, that's it guys for today. I will catch you at the end of the week. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you for coming on, Ant. Say bye to everyone.
See you later, bye.
Nice one, mate. I will see you all very soon. Bye-bye.
See you later.